All right, Steve Melo, aka Bem Feito. How
Yes,
are you?
not bad. You?
No, I'm good, man. Thank you. No, thank you for being on the show. As a good fellow Portuguese, I also follow your channel, Comedy Portuguese. For to ease up
Thank you.
the evening sometimes when you get home, decompress.
Yeah, thank you,
Um,
thank you. Appreciate it.
yeah. All right, man. So yeah, I'm happy to have you on, and let's just get to the bottom of more or less like how you like when and why or how you created this page.
So I'm in my 11th year of doing this now, which is crazy to think about because I don't know where the last 10 years have gone, period. And the 10 years before that, it just seems like it goes faster every year. But yeah,
Yeah.
no, I started back in 2015, May 4th, 2015 to be exact, Star Wars Day, which I didn't even realize at the time that I had started that day till a couple years later.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, no, it was just one of those things where I was just online and I'm scrolling Instagram, which was like the equivalent of TikTok today at the time.
Yeah.
And I'm just looking for funny things. And at the time, I just realized like the only two funny Portuguese related accounts were the Portuguese kids and,
Hmm.
and Mike Rita. Um, but there really wasn't any other. There was one other one that had just started, must be Portuguese, Elder, and I thought he was hilarious. And he would do these first he started doing like these little voiceover videos where he would talk over stuff. And
Hmm.
he did it with like Pingu, and I thought that was the funniest stuff ever. But then he transitioned into just kind of talking to himself. He created like an alter ego of a character named Manel. So it's just him being himself in his car and then talking to this other character. And those skits were are still funny today when he does do them. But he kinda transitioned into that, and then so it was just one of those things where, okay, it was the Portuguese kids, must be Portuguese and Maigrita, but, like, there was nothing else and or nobody else, so to speak, so I'm like, "You know what?" And then I had a funny idea for a video, so I just said to myself, "Okay, well, I wonder if Portuguese comedy is taken." So I looked up Portuguese comedy on Instagram, and it wasn't taken. I was shocked, nobody had Portuguese comedy,
Yeah,
like
that's right.
so I jumped on that right away. And my first video was simple. It was just Leonardo DiCaprio dancing in The Wolf of Wall Street in the wedding scene, and I just added the song "O amor é bichinho que rói, rói," and went perfect. So I'm like, "Ah, this is funny. I'm gonna post it." So that was my first video. Then I posted a couple of other stuff, nothing too crazy, no real effort. And then I quickly realized if you type in PortugueseComedy.com, it redirects you to the Portuguese kids page. So I'm like,
Oh,
"Ah, man, okay, I don't wanna" first of all, always been big fans of them since the very beginning, and I didn't want it to be a thing where, like, people they're
avoid
thinking
conflict.
yeah,
Yeah.
conflict, or they think, like, I'm purposely ripping,
Yeah, yeah,
I'm poaching the Portuguese comedy name,
yeah,
to poach their fans or anything like that. I didn't want any, so I'm like, "Okay, well, it's still early enough. I don't have many followers, how can I flip
yeah.
this?" And literally, I just flipped it to comedy
Yeah, comedy Portuguese,
Portuguese,
yeah.
right? And searching that up, nobody had comedy Portuguese because it's just a weird. Because if you would say in Portuguese, it would be like comedia portuguesa, right?
Yeah,
But
yeah, yeah, yeah.
comedy Portuguese. So I literally flipped it, which kinda worked out because the CP logo, if to people that don't know or haven't heard this before, it kinda looks like a subliminal
Yeah.
Belika. Uh, so I flipped it, changed it to comedy Portuguese, started posting more stuff. Then I started doing my own, like, video dubs, like, talking over stuff just because Elder wasn't doing it anymore, and that to me, like, when I was a kid, like, I would mute cartoons or, like, I would watch cartoons, and then when the commercials would come on, I would just mute it, and then I'd be, like, just talking shit over the
Yeah,
people
yeah.
in the commercials, right, doing my own so I'm like, "You know what? That's gold," right? Because there's so much stuff you can apply to that
Mhm, mhm.
or classic movies or classic
Oh, yeah.
shows where you can just talk over in Portuguese and make it funny, so I started doing a couple of those. And then I would say around the time I posted my Portuguese Lion King dub, and with that one blew up, but it was a combination of, like, that video blowing up and Elder, must be Portuguese, reposting my stuff. because he had a couple thousand followers at that point.
Yeah,
But with him reposting my stuff, and then there was that Jeffrey Popsick kid on Facebook who always recorded videos of his grandma. He was posting all my stuff to Facebook, and it was blowing up on Facebook. I'm like, okay, so I might as well make a Facebook page for
sure.
Comedy Portuguese because I was just focusing on Instagram at the time. All my stuff's being shared on Facebook, and I got friends and family sending me it, not knowing I'm the
Yeah,
one
yeah.
doing it, or not
Yeah,
knowing that I'm
yeah.
because it's
That's
not like I was
hilarious.
it's not like I was going around advertising it or anything. So yeah, so I made the Facebook page, and then the Facebook page started blowing up. I actually have more followers on Facebook today than I do on Instagram. So the majority of my following is on Facebook and Instagram, but like I have a TikTok. I'm never on it. I'm old. I have a Twitter and all the other ones, but I primarily just focus on the Instagram
Yeah, it's
and
like me too.
the Facebook. But yeah,
Yeah.
no, it's just something I started out of boredom. I joke about I've joked about this in the past. A part of it also was like, I think I was having a little male postpartum depression because we just had our second son. It's a real thing, right? So, like, I think I was experiencing a little bit of that, and then there was a combination of that and, like, again, not seeing other too many other Portuguese accounts,
Doing it.
and just I've always even when I was younger, I've always just been that guy in the family, like, oh, like, crack a joke, make people laugh. So it's just a combination of a lot of different things that kind of inspired me to start, but I never expected it to kind of blow up the way it did, or get a following. Like, I was just doing it more so for my own amusement, so to
So
speak.
you weren't in the comedy space, like, before the page then?
No, not at all. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm a graphic designer, like, that's what I went to school for, and when I was younger,
Yeah.
I did do some acting.
Oh, yeah?
And in my teenage years, I got into some, like, music production as a hobby, so, like, I guess you could say I've always been a creative individual, so in terms of acting, music, and comedy, like, that's always been part of who I am, but in terms of, like, just kinda putting it out there, no, I had never done anything before that, so that's yeah, it's wild.
So did you start the page, like, always intended to be more for those, like, voiceover skits from the movies? Or did you plan on doing your own stuff and then, like, you acting in it, you know?
Honestly, I just started it, because I had that one funny idea for a video, and I figured if I ever have any other funny ideas for a meme or a parody or a voiceover, I'll just do it whenever, however. It was only as the years went by and I started getting a following, I'm like, "Okay, what can I incorporate?" So, when I was a teenager making music, I always joked that, "Okay, if I ever became a famous DJ, my DJ name would be Ben Fate," because
Oh, yeah?
I always thought that was funny, right? But obviously I never became a famous DJ, but as the years went by, I'm like, "You know what? I could still use that name as my online persona." So,
For sure.
so people don't just call me by my real name, which is Steve Mello, which funny enough is also Stevie Just for Laughs
Yeah, that's right.
real name. And
You
if
you almost, like
you quickly
you
find
almost
out how.
accidentally clashed with 2 guys who end up becoming big too, so
Exactly. So it's in hindsight, it's kind of funny that I go by Ben Fade and he goes by Stevie Just for Last, but we're both Steve
Steve
Mello.
Mello.
So I wonder how
That's
many other talented Steve Mellos are out there in the world. Actually, I was at the my big fat Portuguese wedding not
yeah.
too long ago with my dad in Mississauga, and one of their actor friends they brought along for the show, who played like a construction guy in the wedding party. Coincidentally enough, his name's also Steve Mello. So I'm like, "Oh," I'm like, "All right, well, we're
Crazy.
just." It's yeah, so it's just funny that and in hindsight, it's good that I don't go by my real name because just for, uh, obviously personal reasons and stuff,
But
I'm
even the way you present it has its humor too, because it's, like, intentionally written wrong, kind of with the accent, it's cool.
yeah, Ben Feito, 'cause
Yeah.
the proper Portuguese way would say "Ben feito," right?
Yeah, 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 that's
If
what
you're
I'm getting
from
at, yeah.
to the mainlanders, "Ben
Yeah, for
feito,"
sure.
right? Ben feito. Well, I just as the time went on, I just started incorporating other stuff because, like, again, I always did the music stuff, so I started doing music parodies, and then as my following grew, I quickly realized, like, there's a lot of like, I've met a lot of talented Portuguese people through this that I would have never met otherwise. I would have
For
just,
sure.
I would have just been a fan online. But like, there's so many other talented Portuguese comedians out there, especially here locally in Ontario. Canada, that as I got more popular, I'm like, okay, well, let's why not do a comedy show and feature Portuguese comedians, right? So that's when I started doing the Pork Chops and Comedy Show,
Yeah, I was gonna
uh,
ask you that, yeah. So you
and
founded that?
so it was like I came up with the name, and I had another guy at the time who did events. He had done events with the Portuguese kids in Micreta, and he offered, "Hey, let's like I'll help you put on the show. I'll take care of the like the business side of things and getting sponsors and getting the venue, and you take care of promoting it, right?" So that's how it started that way. So we had done a couple of shows, and they all did well. And yeah, I was able to kind of just use my platform to put more eyes on other comedians that wouldn't probably normally got that, just to get them more exposure, right? So,
Yeah, for sure.
yeah.
For sure. The Portuguese immigrant humor is kinda unique 'cause you got the strict parents, and then the everything has to be pristine in the house, the food, even the
Yeah.
guilt, like, whoever's
Yeah.
guilty has to be called out.
Yeah.
How do you think that relates so well to, like, this viral content, for Portuguese comedy?
I think, especially when I started, it was just one of those things where, like, there are so many Portuguese immigrants in Canada and and America, all over the world actually, because it's crazy because I even have fans that have messaged me from, like, Johannesburg and Australia and
Oh, yeah.
all over the world, but I think it just at the time that I started, like, we as Portuguese people, because I'm in my 40s now, but when I started, I was in my early 30s, and it was just one of those times, like, where we all kinda grew up the same way. If we have immigrant parents, same kind of stereotypes and everything, like, everyone can relate to it, and when I started, we were kind of at the cusp of, okay, like, we're transitioning from, like, younger people to being parents of our own now, so,
Yeah.
like, it really just kinda hit, and a lot of people were just able to relate to it now,
Mhm.
and but it's funny too with even in saying that, like, I find I can post the exact same thing on Instagram and Facebook and get completely different reactions on Instagram and completely different reactions on Facebook. Facebook's more of a older demographic.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
Like I put it like if you're 40 and over, Facebook. If
Yeah,
you're between if you're in your 30s, it's Instagram.
yeah.
And if you're
If
in
you're
your
20 with TikTok,
20s and yeah
teenage.
and like
Yeah,
late teens, it's TikTok. So
yeah.
um yes, but I find that, like, again, because we all kind of if you come from an immigrant family, absolutely, you grew up with, like, a second kitchen in the basement
Yeah,
or
yeah.
or, just all the stereotypes with, like,
For sure, for
you
sure.
got hit with a pad of massa,
Yeah.
your dad's either a Sporting Benfica or a Porto
Yeah, yeah,
fan,
yeah. Of course,
like,
yeah.
it's one or the other, right? But then we can all kinda relate to that because it's all, your avô made massa cevada around Easter time, right? Like, it's there's so many things to pick from that we can all kinda relate to and take the humor from it, so
So you touched on a point there a little earlier. I wanted to ask you that, when you started this page, were you foreseeing it as like a local inside joke for the community, or did you see the potential to like globalize it? Because I imagine,
honest
like you just said, from Johannesburg, from Australia, from Canada, the
N
US, I'm sure other
ne
countries in Europe.
never, no, I just more so did it for my own amusement, to be perfectly
Yeah,
honest, and because, yeah, there wasn't part of me was saying, like, there's not really much other, like, Portuguese people doing funny Portuguese things, so
yeah,
why
yeah, yeah,
not? Or why not, right? I just started doing it for, I guess, my own desire to, hey, it made me laugh. If somebody does happen to see it, maybe it'll make them laugh too. I never anticipated, like, getting, like, thousands of followers within months and then hitting 10,000 and then hitting 20,000 and so on and so forth. Like,
you're on your way to 100.
it just kinda well, yeah, yeah,
Yeah, you're on the way.
I'm 80 I think I'm 88 now on
Look
Facebook,
at that.
and I'm 75 on Instagram,
Yeah,
but
you're
it's
breaking new grounds, opening the way for others to come after.
well, a lot I'm not saying it was accredited to me at all, but a lot did start coming after the fact, like, we had, um, Carlos Costa, I can't O Continental. We've had a guy named O Continental, live in Portuguese, O Chouriço, Uh, like, yeah, there's been a lot of and then, of course, Stevie
Yeah,
Just for
for sure.
Laughs.
That's how it
Like,
is.
I feel like so many more came out of the woodwork after the fact, but
For
again,
sure.
I'm not attributing that to me because like, it had already started with
It's a trend that was already growing too.
yeah,
Yeah,
like, Must Be already had already taken initiative and started it,
for sure, for sure.
and, like, I owe
At the
him
end of the day, it's like
yeah,
the
and
cook channels too, right? Like, people cook and then people start putting up videos, so
yeah. Yeah, like, I feel like, yeah, David Rodriguez, who
yeah.
awesome, awesome
Oh, yeah, I
guy.
had him on too, yeah.
I love yeah, I love that guy, and I actually met him when I was in Florida on family
Yeah.
vacation. I took a date to kind of, "Hey, where are you, man? Like, we gotta meet up," and, just a good-hearted dude, and I love what he's done and how far he's come with just getting the recognition for doing the stuff that he does, and
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
it's just stuff like that, like, I love to see it. I love to see people just kind of step out of their comfort zone
And even
and put themselves out there, and, hey, because you don't know, like, you really don't know. As soon as I started getting a following, that's when it's like, "Okay, maybe put a little more effort into this because
yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah.
I am a graphic designer, so I started branding myself and marketing myself
Yeah.
like I was a legit, like fake it
Like,
till
we
you
were
make
yeah,
it kind of thing. That's why I put my logo on the corner of every meme I do.
for sure.
It's not just so people don't steal my stuff. It's just so it becomes synonymous with your brain
Exactly.
when you see it. Like I've had people meet me in public and they don't even go, "Whoa, Ben Fate, you're Ben Fate." I've had people yell from across the
Yeah.
street, "CP, CP," and I'm like, "Whoa, whoa,
Yeah.
whoa! Don't that people for people that don't know what you're talking about, they could take that the wrong way. So don't be yelling CP. It could mean something completely different to other people, right? But yeah, it's just funny that way. Yeah, and it's great, and I see like new faces today even, and it's like, oh, I didn't even know this guy existed, and I'll
And
follow them,
like
and I'll kind of keep up and see. But
and it was like you were
it's a
saying yeah, it
yeah.
was like you were saying, and it's managed to bring us together because even like you were saying, like the Steve, Just for Laugh, he ended up coming on your show after, like the Pork Chops and Comedy,
Yeah,
right? So
yeah,
it's funny how things work out.
yeah, and he's doing the stand-up thing now.
Yeah,
He's
yeah. He's doing the
transitioning.
stand-up and those skits that I was asking you about too, because like, those are funny too, so I
Yeah,
like him. I had him on,
yeah,
he's a good guy.
yeah, he's transitioned, like, construction worker. A lot of Portuguese
Yeah,
guys, people can relate to that. Then
for sure, for
he
sure.
started doing his own thing online, making funny
Yeah, yeah.
things, and now he's transitioning to the stand-up thing. And I mean, I wish him all the best. Of
Good
course,
for
I do.
him, yeah.
His name's Steve Mello as well. He needs to do the name proud, right? So, but no, I've met him too. Great guy. Just always positive. Always has that positive energy, and that's what you need, right? So. It's hard it's I joke that it's great being positive, it's great being positive, but, there's days where you wake up and you're not positive,
No, for sure.
everyone's going through stuff, which is
Yeah,
also
yeah.
kind of like why I take pride in doing what I do too. Because I don't care who you are, how rich you are, how
Yeah,
well
yeah,
off you are, like, everyone is going through personal stuff.
for sure.
People go through stuff people don't even know because they don't feel comfortable talking about it. If you come on my page and something I posted made you laugh and forget about whatever you're worrying about for a few seconds, whatever, then that's great. And I've had tons of messages like that, comments like that. I had a lady leave a comment once saying I believe it was her mom. Yeah, her mom or someone they were pretty much in hospice, and for, like, the last 2 weeks of their lives, they were just watching my videos and laughing, and it brought them comfort, and I'm like, What?" Like,
Wow,
I again, never thought I'd have that reach, and
for sure.
to hear stuff like that from something I started on a whim, it really
Yeah,
kinda
yeah,
does blow my mind, and helps put things into perspective sometimes.
for sure, man. Uh, those, when you're recreating those, voiceover parody videos from the movies, has there ever been one that, like, a personal thing that happened to inspired you to do? Like, something
Yeah, actually, Um, I did one and basically I was just channeling my mom and dad from
yeah.
like a similar conversation, but I did one, long time ago. It was, The Wedding Singer, and it was the scene where, like, she's basically telling him, like, she doesn't wanna be with him anymore, and, I basically dubbed over the scene. I'm gonna try and remember verbatim here, but he was I think I did, like, "Por favor, não se faz isto, tu és a minha vida," and then she goes, "Ha, a tua vida está sentado no sofá, nos fins de semana vendo futebol." And then he goes, era o Porto Benfica e era para trás de Portugal, minha. Like something like that, right? But because the conversation with my parents didn't go like that, but it was
Yeah,
always
but it
something.
inspired
It was always an argument. Something had to do with, oh, you watch too much football, and my
yeah,
dad being like,
yeah,
"Hey, I work all week. Nos fins de semana, I watch football.
yeah, yeah,
That's all I want. Leave me alone, okay? Like I work hard all week. They should be with the ball, right?"
for sure.
So yeah, there are a couple that kind of like took inspiration from actual conversations for sure.
Before we move direction a bit, and because you touched on because you work in graphic design and it's a trending topic, I just wanted to ask you like your input or has this whole new AI thing been a plus or a negative for you?
So it depends on how you look at it. You can look at AI and be like, "Oh man," like I used to get people asking me, "Hey, a friend of mine starting a business, they need a logo." Right? And okay, I'd whip up a logo, here you go, but, I don't get those anymore, the logos,
Because they already create them, right?
because they
Um,
create them themselves, but then what I
yeah,
do get is, "Hey, my friend made a logo for his business using AI, ChatGPT, whatever, but now he needs to make it a sign,
yeah,
and the sign companies are telling him it's too small to make a sign because when you
yeah.
blow it
So
up, it gets pixelated, so now it's
yeah,
gotta be redrawn anyways," and then that's where
exactly.
I
Yeah,
come in. So it depends again, there's 2 sides to the coin. You can
yeah,
look at it like, "Oh, man, it's gonna take work for me," or, "Hey, if I know how to use it properly,
yeah.
it's gonna speed up the amount of time I take to do something." And that's where I've used it to my advantage. So, if someone
Hmm.
were to give me a photo for editing,
Yeah.
like, "Hey, I have this family photo, but, this Tia doesn't talk to that Tia anymore. Can you crop her out?" And, I've gotten those, trust me,
You
man.
got that?
And before I would have to manually go into Photoshop and clip the person, take them out, and then clone some grass in or whatever was behind them to make it look. That would take a long time. Now I could just prompt it. Hey, take that person out and make this person smile. This person's got their eyes closed, open their eyes, and seconds done.
Yeah.
So,
So it helps. So for sure,
so
there's obviously going to be
yeah,
positives and negatives.
I
Yeah,
definitely use it to my advantage. And
to
even
your
with the music
advantage.
stuff, like I used to do a lot of music parodies. But now with the AI, like, there were so many song ideas I had and lyrics I had written down, or this would be a good idea for a song, that would be a good idea for a song. Oh, it'd be cool if you took this old song and made it like a dance song. Now AI helps with that too, and I'm
For
able to
sure, for
put
sure.
more music out there, and, people have their opinions with, like, AI music, but hey, love it or hate it, it's music I would have never been able to put out had the technology not existed for it, and it would just be an idea still stuck in my head. So
When did you launch that? Because I think you just launched a second album. When was the first one?
I the first one, I believe, was, like, 2024, and then I did one in 2025, and I've launched 2 this year, and,
Okay.
yeah, and a lot of it's, like, from personal feelings, like, there's one for my grandma because my grandma passed away last October at 90 years old while I was in Japan. So a lot of it comes from personal stuff, a lot of it's just funny, a lot of it's are
But do
just
you write all of them? Do you write all of them?
so most I'll have like an idea for a lot of them, and some of them I have like I've had lyrics written down from over the years for
Yeah.
and just never did anything with them.
Yeah, yeah.
Other ones I'll have like the idea for a song, and then
The
yeah,
idea, yeah.
I'll use AI to flesh out the lyrics.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
then if something doesn't make sense or something's not being pronounced right, I'll go in and correct it. But yeah, like in terms of like and other than the ones that on my newest album, I got a modern version of Terra da Maria by Horbet Leal, but it's just more like, the more
Yeah.
modernized. Other than those ones, all the other ones, like, yeah, like I'll either have the idea for it or I'll have lyrics already kind of
But
worked out and I'll
how about
clean it
voice
up.
though? Do you lend your voice to most of them or
I'm looking into doing that with future songs because now they have a lot of like technology where you can
for
actually
sure?
clone your voice
Yeah, yeah.
and then you can take the parts of the songs, break it apart, take just the vocal, and then swap in the voice. So I'm kind of looking at doing that with probably my next album whenever I get
Yeah.
to it, because it's just a hobby when I do have
For
time to
sure,
do it.
yeah. But I
So,
got
but yeah, no, I have thought about doing my voice, but at the same time, it's like how many people, because I've used my voice in like older song parodies,
mhm,
like I've done a lot of like song parodies where I'm actually
mhm.
singing
That's
and
you.
doing my voice,
Yeah.
and I've actually performed those on
Yeah,
stage.
that's why I was figuring you probably
Um,
did some of these, yeah.
yeah, because I mean, I've done stand up, but it's
Mhm.
just a couple jokes here and there. Like my
Yeah.
stand up's basically my song parodies.
Yeah.
Or I'm hosting a show, and, like, basically, it's like I'm hosting, I'll do a song, and then I'll introduce a comedian. Then I'll come
Yeah.
up and be like, "Hey, everyone, give it up for
Exactly, yeah.
Joe Batello." It's like, "Who wants to hear another song?" "Alright," and then I'll do a song, and then
Yeah, yeah.
when I did the shows, basically, that was kind of like yeah, it was like song, comedian, just to kinda break it up. Because if you're
Yeah.
just going comedian, 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 then
Yeah, yeah.
you run the risk of burning out the crowd, but then, hey, if you break it up with a comedian song, then you're kind of, there it's kinda like a refresh, like
For sure.
so I find that format kinda worked well. But yeah, who knows? I may do some more original songs with my voice if
Well, the
people want
music
it.
is definitely, like, high energy and upbeat, make good
Yeah.
feeling to it. But I gotta say, I listened the other night to, that Vela song. It's really touching, and I could tell it's related
So,
to your life, so
Vela, yeah, that's when basically when my oldest son was first diagnosed with type 1 diabetes. And yeah, man, that's all me. That's
so
I
that's
put it
that's what I want.
I put it I whoops, sorry. I put it
It's
out
okay.
there like no shame. Just yeah, those are the feelings I was feeling. That's basically a day of my life,
So
monitoring.
that's exactly where I wanted to bring this now, 'cause,
Yeah.
like, a lot of people look at you online 10 years, you're making everyone laugh, all these parody videos and memes, and, they think, life is all sunshine and rainbows, but in the end of the day, you were hit with a reality check, and, you need a lot of strength and family structure for you guys to go through what you guys go through. So, if you
Yeah.
can, like, if you don't mind, just talk a little bit about that, because not to sound like a broken record, I've heard you explain some of it already before, but at the same time, you never know who's watching and who this could impact to hear the right thing and act in time. You never know who this could save a life or two. So,
Yeah,
if you don't
so
mind sharing a little bit of that struggle you guys went to.
yeah, my son was 9 at the time. He just turned 14 now, but at the time he was 9, and he was drinking a lot and eating a lot and peeing a lot all of a sudden with like for a few weeks. And my wife and I didn't think anything of it. We just thought, okay, he's always been a tall kid. Like, oh, so I'm like, oh, he's just going through another growth spurt because
Growth.
he's 14 now and he's 6'4". Like the kid is
Wow.
huge. He's a tall
Yeah,
kid.
okay, basketball player coming in there.
Yeah, yeah. But basically, yeah, so we had noticed he was drinking a lot and eating a lot and urinating a lot, but we didn't think anything of it. And then one day he just started throwing up like really bad. Okay, he's got a stomach bug. And then it was, he wasn't getting better. And then my wife was in her last year of nursing at the time. And that night when we put him to bed, she noticed his feet were kind of turning blue. And when he was breathing, he was kind of starting to wheeze. And she's like, and something just told her that, okay, something's not right here. This isn't just a stomach ache, right? So it's 10 o'clock at night. I took him to the ER. Uh, and again, even walking through the doors, I didn't think anything of it. Like he's just got a really bad stomach ache. You're not thinking the worst, right?
For
And
sure.
in the amount of time I walked through those doors to the nurse in the emerge noticing just how he was acting because he was, like, peeled over on the chair as I was talking to her, like, they got us in, like, right away, so I walked through those doors thinking my son had a stomach ache to 20 minutes later, he's in the back room, he's got IV hooked up to one hand, blood being taken out of the other hand, and the doctor just telling me point blank, like, his glucose is, like, 23, 22, 23. I'm like, "What does that mean?" I don't know anything about diabetes at this point. Like, he's like, "It means he's probably got type 1 because a normal person's glucose range should be between 4 and 7." So
4
I'm,
and
like,
7.
freaking out because right away I'm thinking back to my first job when I used to screen print T-shirts. Then at that time had type 1, so I'm thinking back right away to, like, every day seeing him give himself a needle, and
Yeah.
that's the first thought going through my head, like, "Oh my god, I'm gonna have to give him needles, he's gonna have to get insulin needles for the rest of his life," and then, quickly went from thinking that to know having to call my wife, let her know what's going on, to them transferring us from, because I had driven to the Woodstock hospital because that was the one closest to us at the time. They quickly sent us from Woodstock to London, to the pediatric wing there, and by the time we got to London, his glucose shot over 30, and he had actually gone into a diabetic coma. He went into DKA, as they say. So, yeah, it was, yeah, it's still, I hate thinking about it, but
For sure.
it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, like, you go from trying to wake up your kids to
Sure.
all of a sudden, okay, like, now he's awake, you're being told, like, okay, like, what helped put it into perspective for me, is that, like, as traumatic as that was, not knowing what was going on, why isn't my son waking up? Am I gonna lose him? What helped put into perspective was because I was at the London hospital. I was walking down the hall, and I remember looking into, like, another room, and there was a little kid there, probably around my kid's age, but, she had no eyebrows, she had no hair, and she's sitting there with her family, and it was just me walking by, peeking and seeing, and then I don't know what it was, but, like, it helped put it into perspective for me, man, like, this was probably one of the worst things that's ever happened to me, easily, and not just me, obviously, my son's life's completely gonna
For
change
sure.
now, but my son's coming home, and I don't know what the situation or what's
The
going
other
on with that
kids.
family is.
Mm.
So, it really just kinda helped put it into perspective. Like, it didn't restore my faith in God or anything, 'cause, to be perfectly honest, it shattered my faith and everything.
No, because you question everything
well,
after.
it just, it just put into perspective for me, like, okay, like, at least my kid's coming home, and if we stay on top of it, it's something that we can manage and isn't so much gonna be in control of you as to, unlike something like cancer or something like that, but
Yeah.
so that kinda helped, like, "Okay, like, you got this," kinda thing, right? "You got this." But then a few years later, I have 3 boys, and a few years later, my second was also diagnosed with the same thing.
Wow.
So, when it happened with our first, we just thought, "Okay, I don't have a history of it, my wife doesn't have a history of it. It just happened. It is what it is. We do our best and we move on." But then my second was diagnosed, so could be something with my genetics and my wife's genetics combined. That's the most
Yeah.
logical thing, and then there's a trigger, so we don't really know, but we also don't spend too much time thinking about it.
For sure.
We just do what we can. It's not something I would wish on a lot of people, because you don't, unless you live it every day, or you're a type 1 diabetic parent, as I am,
Mhm.
you don't know what those families go through, the
No,
lack of sleep.
I could imagine that I have no
Yeah.
idea.
Yeah, the lack of sleep and the constant monitoring, and even me right now talking to you, every now and then I peek on my phone just to
For
make sure
sure.
they're not going too high or dropping. But it's one of those things where you
You
just
have
kind
a
of,
monitor on your phone that lets you know?
yeah, yeah. I have it on my phone. I have it on my I'm not wearing my watch right now because it's charging, but even on my watch, I can look at my Fitbit and I can see both their values.
How do they go through the schooling system like that?
So basically, because we just moved last September, but at their old school, like, they needed the whole school, they all needed to be educated.
On the situation, yeah.
The classroom, the principal, the teachers, and so there was, at the time, there was a group called the Dia Buddies, and that was
Mm.
what they, like, specialized in. It was like a volunteer group, and they just go into the classes and educate the class. Because it broke my heart too with my oldest when he was first diagnosed. Like, he had a few friends, and then all of a sudden, like, nobody's talking to him. They thought it was contagious. Like, it's just not, thankfully, now that's not the case. He's got
Yeah.
friends. They understand how it works, but, like, it's just one of those things, right? Like, it is heartbreaking as a father, but at the same time, it's like, I
Where
again,
did
this is
Sorry.
sorry. No, no, it's okay.
No, I was just gonna ask, where did you move to the Woodstock area? Where did you come from? Where did you move from?
Um, I grew up in Cambridge, Ontario.
Mm. Yeah,
So
that's a
that's
nice
where
city. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, so that's where I grew up.
A lot of Portuguese there too. Eh?
Yeah, oh yeah. And then when I was
You know what's
30
funny? You know what's funny?
uh,
There's actually lots of roundabouts there. It's hard to see them in Canada, but Cambridge has quite a bit of roundabouts.
yeah, Franklin Boulevard. I was still living there when they built that thing. That made traffic living hell for a few years.
Yeah.
But
But
yeah.
but the idea of the roundabouts in Europe is like not to stop the traffic. Like when there's not a lot of traffic, no one really needs to stop. You know, you
No,
can just
there they know how to drive through a
yeah,
roundabout. Here it's
yeah.
like
Because here no one
people
teaches
people
them,
s-
so
people stop halfway through or they're
they
changing
don't know when
lanes
to put
in
the
the
lights on, the
roundabout.
exit light. Yeah.
Yeah, and then
But
here
and
we
you said that
here we put stupid trees and stuff in the middle so you can't
you,
actually even see the
you
cars
can't see
coming
everything.
around.
Yeah.
It's like,
You
yeah.
mentioned you're in Woodstock. I actually have, 2 sisters in Woodstock. I go there, like, at least t 2 times a year minimum.
Yeah, so I mean, I've never lived in Woodstock. I just worked in Woodstock, and
Yeah,
at the
yeah,
at
yeah.
the time to where we lived at the time,
The hospital
it
was
was
the
a close,
closest.
yeah. So
Yeah.
but yeah,
So then, in hindsight, with all this experience you have, like, can you mention, like, 3 or 4 bullet point things for people to look out for just in case?
yeah. So basically, if you notice your child's appetite change, all of a sudden they're hungry all the time, that's a sign. If they're peeing all the time, that's a sign. If they're drinking thirsty all the time, that's a sign. So if all of a sudden you start to notice those 3 things, and then the 4th, because you asked for 4, if you notice
Yeah,
all of a
well
sudden if you notice the weight loss,
oh, yeah.
which we didn't notice because my kid
It was growing
but
so
but
tall. Yeah.
that was the other thing, they weighed him before they took him into the back room, and he when they told me his weight, they said, 88 pounds. I'm like, "He was 108 2 weeks ago. He lost 20 pounds, and we didn't even
Wow.
notice."
Yeah, yeah. Because he was,
So,
like, stretching, yeah.
weight loss, always thirsty, always peeing, always eating. So if you all of a sudden notice, like out of nowhere, like it's just all of a sudden like, whoa, this is new. Uh, get a glucometer, check their blood,
I
and
I've
get
never
yeah.
mm, I've never dived into this too much because obviously, like, because of personal experience, I didn't need to, so it's kind of a new language for me. But when you're diagnosed with type 1 diabetes, there's no chance of reversing it to type 2 or something?
No. So type 1, like a lot of us probably have a Volge that are type 2, and
Yeah.
that's just over time where your pancreas isn't kind of working as best as it should. It's not producing enough insulin, so you got to watch your carb intake, but it's still producing insulin. So you don't it's just more so monitoring what you eat as a type 2. With type 1, there's either 2 situations happening. 1, your pancreas just stops producing insulin. Or 2, your pancreas is still producing insulin, but your body's autoimmune system is rejecting it. And therefore you're either but in either case, you're not getting the insulin into your blood as it should. So in order to counteract that, you need to put insulin into your body, and it's accepted that way. So, yeah, I could kinda give a TED Talk on this now,
Oh, I can imagine what you've
which
learned over these years, yeah.
and a lot of it was just my own accord on educating myself. Because with anything, if you wanna be good at something, you watch a tutorial video or if it's with anything in life, no matter what you wanna do, if you put in the work, you'll see results. So not that I put in the work, but I wanted to educate myself as best as possible. So if something ever came up, then it's like, oh, I know, or oh, that or this or that. So yeah,
So it's almost a blessing that you have this comedy project because in those, moments, when you're more down, it can help uplift your energy a little bit, no?
I- if I'm being completely honest, yes and no, because in the beginning, like I was posting something every day. That was my thing, like post something every day. I still try and post something every day, but it's not, with everything I got on my plate, it's not like
Sure.
literally possible sometimes. But yeah, it's one of those things where yeah, like I've always enjoyed making other people laugh, and I know people go through stuff, so it helps because I know it helps me too. I always look for stuff to make me laugh when I'm feeling down. I can't laugh at my own farts all the time, so to speak. but it is challenging some days because some days you're just, you try and stay positive, but it's some days you're just numb because of lack of sleep, or you got so much other stuff on your plate, but you still got to manage, diabetes, and it's hard. I'm not like it does some days. It's like, okay, like I don't have time to post funny stuff, or I don't feel positive enough to post stuff, and that's just me being completely honest, because it's like, life, you c and this is advice I wish they would teach kids in school and younger generation. Like, you can have goals and you can have dreams and you can plan it. It's great to have all that, but you always need to be prepared for what life throws at you, because that's the stuff nobody has any control over. You can plan to get married, have kids, have a house, the everything, but you know, like, what do you do when something happens in life that's literally out of control? Like, a relative gets hit by a car, now they're injured. That's out of your control. It happened. Somebody gets sick. Now you have to face this. It happened.
For
It's
sure.
stuff that's out of your control. So it's teaching people when they're young, like, bracing themselves mentally. How do you deal with when life throws unexpected things your way? And all you can do is do your best every day and take it day by day and try and stay positive every day. But it takes a lot of energy to be positive sometimes.
I
That's why
believe
you
you.
see a lot of negative people out there. It's easy to
Oh
be
yeah.
negative
I know.
because a
The
lot,
majority are. And you see it in the comment sections and
yeah,
everything. Like 90% is negative, you know?
yeah.
People
So
just
like,
decompress. That's
yeah,
that's their scapegoat. They go to the comment section, they watch a 10-minute video, they like 9 minutes of it.
yeah.
There's
Well,
one section they didn't like, that's it.
even that's changed, more so like in the last year and a half, 2 years, and maybe you've noticed it too. Like, people barely like or comment anymore, and that's
I
and
know.
I've no-
I've been
I've
noticing. Oh, yeah.
I've noticed it on Facebook. But you know what people are doing? They're sharing. They're still
Okay.
sharing it. They
Yeah.
still People still share stuff like we used to do back in the day when we used to forward
Yeah. Forward
chain
something. Yeah.
emails to
Yeah.
people.
Yeah.
Like, I look at insights every now and then. I don't obsess over it, but I do look at it, and like, even though like it's getting a few likes or a couple comments, or nowhere near what it was before, but like, it's still being shared and it's still being viewed. Like, the views are still there and the shares are still there, but people are more so just like, it's like they don't have the time to click like or comment anymore. It's one more
Yeah, it's weird.
inconvenience, right?
It's
It's a
especially awkward. It's especially awkward
yeah,
and weird when it's like,
yeah,
even close ones do. Like me, if I see
yeah,
people that I personally know, everything they
yeah,
post, like the
yeah.
same energy it takes me to swipe. I put a like in the same energy, you know, like,
Yeah, yeah. No, I hear you. Yeah, I fall victim of
it's
that too.
crazy.
I'll have a busy day, but like, I'll take like a few minutes just to kind of
Yeah, just to
unwind.
go support. Yeah,
It's like, oh, someone posted that, but like, I'll try and
yeah,
like
yeah,
it and leave a comment, even if the comment's just emojis, like just
yeah. If
something.
something, yeah, yeah,
Something quick, right? Just something for the algorithm to feed off of. But yeah, I've noticed it on Facebook and Instagram. People are liking less and commenting less, and not putting anyone
yeah.
down for that. I get it.
No, I know. It's just what it is, you
It's
know.
just
Yeah,
the current trend. It's
yeah.
across the board, right? But again, the views are still there and the shares are still there, so they're still compelled enough to, this is funny. Let me
Or at least
send it
watch
to
it. Yeah.
so and so. So yeah.
So beyond all the following and views and likes from your social media, and what you've built with this comedy Portuguese, how would you like your kids to see what you've built thus far and how far you're gonna take it?
So my kids are aware. I don't show them everything, obviously, because my humor is a little more, for a mature audience, so to
Old school
speak.
Portuguese.
Yeah, I can't. It's not like Portuguese. Like, there's old school. There's stuff
Yeah,
that
yeah,
will offend people depending on your
yeah,
comedic tastes. It's Yeah. Like, they know I do it. They know I have a following, but like, especially my youngest, like, oh, the kids these days, oh, I want to be a YouTube
yeah,
star when I'm older. And I tell them, I have a following, and I don't care. And I'm saying I don't care about my following or my fans. I'm saying, it's not everything in life. That's what I mean when I say I don't care.
for
Like,
sure.
it's not the most important thing in life. That should never be something Like if you get into that just because I want a following, I want to make a ton of money, like no, that's the wrong mentality to
Yeah,
have. Do it because you enjoy it. And if
yeah,
you enjoy it and it shows people see you enjoying it, it may take off. It might not take off.
yeah. It is what it is.
Because yeah, with me it was again, I never expected it to, but they know I do it. They know I have a following. They think it's cool, but like I try not to like obsess over it too much. It's just something that he does, and it's to an extent it's true. Like comedy Portuguese is a very small part of my life. I do graphic design. I also have another job that I do. So I have two jobs. A lot of people know this, but I also own NESTetris.com.
What's
I'm
that?
actually, I also own NESTetris.com. I'm a big Tetris guy.
Oh yeah.
I'm actually flying out to Pasadena next weekend for the World
Wow.
Championships for the first
Wow.
time.
I didn't know
Uh,
that one.
I also own ProWrestlingLinks.com, which is just a wrestling website that's literally as what it says. It's just links to
Yeah.
podcasts, links to I do music under Ben Faith, but I also do music under other aliases people don't even know about. Like I do so many different things just to kind of keep the creative juices flowing. And even now, like I'm in the process of releasing. I've been working it's 2.5 years now, but really the last few months, I've developed a app for type 1 diabetics too.
Beautiful.
Because
Yeah.
for type 1 diabetics, when they eat, a lot of people think, oh, they can't have sugar. Bad stereotype, right? It's not about the sugar. It's when they eat, it depends on how much carbs they're consuming. The more carbs they're consuming, the more insulin they need. So like if my kid's having 4 chicken tenders and about cup and a half of fries and a glass of milk. The old way, I would have had to go on Google, how many carbs are in one chicken tender? It would give me an answer. Then I would have to times it by four. And then I would have to find out. Then I'd have to do the same for the fries, the same for the milk, and then I'd have to add that all up just to get a total carb count. It takes
Yeah.
minutes. And then I get another kid that's diagnosed with it. Now it takes even longer. I'm
Yeah.
doubling
Yeah.
that time, making lunches in the morning for school. So I'm like, there's got to be a quicker way to do this. Like there just has to be. And so I looked it up. There are other carb counting apps. There's tons of them.
Hmm.
They're all fitness based
Fitness.
related,
Yeah.
keto and calories and proteins and fibers and all that stuff. So I just need an accurate carb count or something that. So basically, it was a problem I was having as a parent. So basically, my app, you just say what you're eating the whole meal, and it will connect to different APIs, food databases, the Gemini, ChatGPT, and it gives you an approximate total carb count. Boom, done. Now I know how much carbs my kid's eating. Now I know how much insulin I need to give him. So it
Such an
literally turns
important,
minutes
meaningful
into
tool. Good
seconds.
for you.
You you can either say what you're eating or you can take a photo and the photo will analyze the portions. So there's two parts of it, right? So that's what I'm working on right now. It's pretty much
Nice.
ready to go. I'm just doing some final bug testing now, and my kids
And
have
it'll
the
probably
diabetes
be something
walk.
with a little subscription fee or something, right?
Yeah, I did add a
Yeah.
subscription, a
Yeah.
small,
Yeah. Yeah.
it's nothing
Yeah. Not.
astronomical,
Yeah.
but I did, but like, there's a free tier, a pro tier, an ultimate tier,
Yeah. Yeah. For sure.
and yeah, just to kind of start off to see what kind of a response it gets, right? Because
For
if
sure.
it can help me as a parent, and it can help my kids carb count as they become men in their teenage years and stuff. It can help other parents. It can help other caregivers. It can even help people who have type 2 and need to manage how much carbs they're consuming, right? So it started from a problem I was having, but the saying is, what's the saying? Necessity is the mother of invention. I forget who quoted that, but it's true.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
That's right.
but it's yeah. So we'll see where it goes.
Well, I hope all this
I,
is
it's
success with
not
it.
something.
Such
It's
a
not something I
important tool.
started again. Like comedy Portuguese, it's not something I started to get rich or to make
But
money. That was never the goal. But at the same time, it's like I'm not just going to put it out there for free, and then a big
boy,
company
but yeah,
comes poaches it and makes
and
millions
you
of
know the
dollars.
value of it. You've been
Yeah,
through
like
it personally, having to
yeah.
do all these
So
calculations. You
yeah,
know
and I
the
and I,
value
I
of it
mean, at the end of the day, I put a lot of work into it too. So like
for
I
sure.
have to monetize it in some way, shape, or form,
Oh yeah, oh, yeah,
just to protect my
for
own
sure. No, that's normal. Like anyone who
idea.
thinks otherwise needs a reality check. Like people
Yeah,
invest time and have knowledge to share. Things. It is what it is.
yeah. I mean, and there's a free tier. too.
Yeah,
Then
sure.
obviously it's limited on how much you can do.
For sure, like every
But
other app is. Yeah,
but
yeah.
look, I understand, like, some people can't afford it, so I do offer a free tier. I'm not trying to be greedy.
No, no, it's,
But even
that's not that's normal, buddy, that's
but
normal.
even for me
But
running
there is
it
this whole
but
Portuguese mentality, like,
yeah,
"Oh, we're afraid." No, like,
yeah,
things come it
but
is what it
people
is.
well, yeah, I put money into it to get
For sure,
built.
see?
I have to put money into it monthly just to keep it running on
Keep it running, yeah, yeah.
all the stuff on the back end. So it's not like I just, "Hey, it didn't cost me anything, and
No,
now
no, that's normal.
I'm trying,"
Oh,
like,
yeah.
it cost me money to make. It's gonna cost me money to keep it maintained. So, I mean, you have no choice but to add some type of
Oh, yeah.
monetization to counter that, right?
Okay, let me ask you a question. The Portuguese community is built off of, hard work, endurance, resilience. For the most part, we look after each other. What does the word grit mean to you personally?
What does the word grit mean? It just I
With
think
all
of
you've been through, right? Like, you need a lot of grit to endure what you've endured, so
honestly, I attribute a lot of that to my dad. I think a lot of dads I can't speak for every Portuguese dad out there, but a lot of our dads, like, worked, either a construction job or a factory job,
Mhm. Yeah.
and they sacrificed a lot for us to have the life we had today. My dad was always a factory laborer and worked long hours, and I saw I saw, like, what it meant to have grit through him every day because I basically only saw him on weekends, right?
Mhm.
During the week, it was work, 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 right? To provide for the family. So, like, so seeing my dad's work ethic, so to speak, I don't know if that's part of why I'm kind of like, okay, like, no, you as a father, you do what you got to do for your family, right? Like, I will happily put my family before my own happiness sometimes.
Yeah,
'Cause
I know what that is.
I just want my kids to be, yeah, the thing is, and you hear all the time when the kid when, when as long as they're happy and healthy, right? Well, you don't people don't understand. It's easy to say that. You don't have control over the
Yeah,
healthy
yeah.
part. You do have control over the happy part, though, and so I will do everything in my power to be the best dad I can and show them that, hey, like, yeah, like I said, going back to the comedy Portuguese, like, yeah, dad's got a following, but dad also works on this, this, and this to
Yeah.
provide, and
Oh,
it's
yeah.
like I said, I'm very proud of comedy Portuguese. Um, I know I have my haters. It comes with the
Uh,
territory.
Part of this.
It comes with
Yeah,
the
yeah.
territory the more popular you get, and I tell that to
Oh, yeah, yeah.
everyone. I have my haters, but I have more supporters. If I post something and 10 people hate it, but 90 people love it,
Yeah.
I'm always
It's a
gonna
win.
be, yeah,
Oh, yeah.
but
Oh,
I
yeah.
understand that. And yeah, so it's just it's the grit part comes from for me, from my dad, and I'm in a position where it's like, okay, like, I yeah, it's either sink or swim. You wake up, you do your best, and then you try again. You try to do better the following day, and then the following day, and you learn more each day, and you're thankful for each day because I mean, you don't know what then tomorrow's going to bring, right?
That's correct. All right, man. In closing, maybe we can give a shout out or two. In closing, you're like one of the OGs of this space, this comedy space with these pages. What?
I
Yeah, by now, it is what it is.
I don't feel that way at all, but
No, but
I always
you've been
appreciate
around
when I
long enough.
hear
You've
that.
created it. You've started certain movements. It is what it is. Are there any young cats that you like? You see what they're doing? The people that are like lesser known or something?
Young cats, ooh.
Like new pages, even if they're not that young, but like they're getting out there now or something. Have you seen it? Has anyone fallen in your radar?
Trying to think, and it's more so like I've seen a couple here and there, and I follow them, but it's not like I remember their name
Yeah.
off the
No,
top of my
even
head.
me.
And
Yeah.
even me myself, like I'm on social media like less and less the
Yeah.
older I get, which
Mhm.
contributes to me not being able to post every day just because life gets busy and
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah, for sure.
But in terms of like younger, I wouldn't say, okay, he's not a comedian, but like
Mhm.
shout out to DJ Good Vibes.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, yeah.
that's a young ki I still call him a kid even though he's a teenager, but that's a young
Yeah,
kid
yeah.
who I've met a couple times now, I've had him DJ our shows. He's got such a business mentality for such a young age that I've never seen that with like because
Impressive.
there's grit and then there's having that entrepreneurial
Yeah, yeah,
business
yeah. Well,
business
and when you could
mentality.
have both of them, the sky's the limit, right?
And he's got it at such a young age, so literally, the sky is the limit for him, so again, and I know he's not a comedian, but he's a young guy who's, to me, is making the Portuguese community proud, he's doing his thing with his music, so shout out DJ Good Vibes for sure,
Nice.
him, and, you know what? He's not young, he's old, he's very offensive and very dirty, but shout out Joe Botello, man, because that guy, I mean, yeah, like, I'm not gonna say he's not well known, he's known, he's been on the Kill Tony and stuff like that, but, like, I don't think that guy gets the proper recognition he
Yeah, I get
deserves
it.
because that guy is, yeah, and, like, he's not who he's like, he's just a nice, like, super nice guy, I've known him for many years now, and, no, I just wanna give him a shout out, like, in terms of I'm sure
Nice.
there's tons of, like, new guys
For
starting,
sure,
but,
yeah, yeah. Well, listen, we can't see
the
everything, so
I
yeah,
can't see everything, and
yeah.
if there are, the names are not coming to mind right now, but in
Like, right
terms of
now
yacht, yeah.
yeah. Right now it's coming to mind, like, there's some 2 guys from I think they're from Toronto but they hadn't posted much, but what
Yes,
they
yes,
do it
okay,
pretty
yeah.
funny with the language or
No,
something, it's
no, no,
pretty funny.
I know who you're talking about. I
Yeah.
apologize for to them that the name is escaping me,
Yeah,
but
me
I
too,
no, but I've messaged them and I've
yeah,
shared their
yeah,
stuff
yeah. They
and
do
they
some pretty cool skits, like, learning,
yeah.
like, the English to
Yeah,
Portuguese, it's
and
pretty
that's
funny.
what I mean, like, I love seeing
Yeah.
stuff right now. I feel so bad now that I'm forgetting their name, but I know who you're
I
talking
feel like
about.
shit too, but I'm gonna try to
I
give them a shout out with this video, hopefully they'll forgive us.
yeah, I've shared their stuff too, and yeah, I'd love to see stuff like that, and I'd love to see, more stuff like that, right? Absolutely.
Yeah. Steve, I gotta tell you, this was a blast.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for all that important, insightful information about the type 1 diabetes. It's very you know, we like I said earlier, we never know who these videos can reach, sometimes it just takes the right hearing the right thing in the right time to save somebody, so
And
thank you
that's
so
all
much.
I mean, yeah, I was always a little hesitant on sharing so much of my personal life at first because I always
No, I
put
could
so much
imagine.
of myself out there, but then it's like yeah, Mama Brega actually kinda got me to open up about it on a blog post first,
Yeah.
and then I was on her podcast, and I opened
Mhm.
it
Yeah.
about it more, and then, yeah, she just kinda helped me so shout
Yeah,
out
she's
Mama
great
Brega.
too. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, shout out to Mama Brega.
Oh,
She just
yeah.
kinda helped me open up and realize, like, yeah, no, like, you have all this knowledge, you have a following, you already use your following for good to, like, try and make people laugh and lighten their day, use it to educate people in type 1 since you know so much about it now if there's another family that is that not seeing the signs and then hey they heard what you said and they caught it early
Oh, yeah.
um
No,
um
that's right, yeah.
so hey why not, right? I'm not hurting anybody by sharing this
No,
information.
if not, you're helping people, so I
Yeah.
appreciate it. And also walking us through a little bit of your journey and what you do. It looks like you never find enough to do. You're always looking for
Yeah,
something. You're adding on music, you're adding on
I could see the light my overhead lights hitting my face, and I can really see the bags under my eyes right now, so I never have enough time, I feel like, yeah, even when I do have time, it's like, uh, yeah, when I do have time, it's like I sacrifice sleep just to get creative
something
stuff
more
done.
done.
Yeah,
It's
so I
that
think
grit mentality.
I think I might have ADHD and not even know it, but it is
Probably
what
a lot of people that say go through life with it not
yeah.
knowing, yeah.
But hey, I'm still here. I'm surviving. So
Maybe it's the ADHD that's taking you so far, see?
maybe because it would explain it because I do so many different things and try and stay on top of it all. So yeah,
This was a blast. I appreciate you taking your time to be with us and share all
no,
of this with us. You
I
know, and I look
appreciate you
forward
having me
to what
on.
you got coming.
Yeah. I don't even know well, other than, like yeah, going yeah, I'm doing a lot of stuff right now that's not so much, like, the Portuguese comedy related, but
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'm using my, I guess you could say,
Your
following
platform. Yeah,
status to because like, I'm doing a lot of Tetris stuff now just because I've always been into Tetris,
for
so, like,
sure.
I'm using my following to help promote
For
that, and
sure, man. Oh, yeah.
I'm trying to do more it's not it's gonna sound selfish, but I'm trying to do more stuff that, like, I'm interested in.
No,
'Cause
that's not selfish at all.
I well, it's one of like, I do so much for so many other people, my kid I mean, my kids, it's non-negotiable, they're my kids, I'm gonna do
Yeah.
everything I can for my kids, but, like, I feel like, I'm always trying to make other people laugh, or I'm always helping other I'm always I've been like, I'm always helping others, so, like, I'm trying to do more stuff that I enjoy while I still can, while still keeping that balance of, still just trying to be a good person and help people along the way. So
Yeah, man. I
it's all a
appreciate it.
balancing act though. So, but
Yeah, that's right.
yeah,
Stevie, thank you so much.
yeah. Thank you. Appreciate
Um
it.
abraço e até a próxima. Tchau.
Também não, se Deus quiser.
If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe and hit that like button below. Obrigado e até a próxima.